to the Pitch Side podcast. I'm your host, the HOD of the PSP, and this is the first video feature I'm doing on my channel. Obviously, I wasn't able to do it for technical reasons. Probably the technical issues still continuing at the moment. You can see there's a bit of bad lighting, the least I would call it, but I'm honored to be joined by, as you can see on the screen here, Mr. Morgan Murphy, the host of the Theredsdaily podcast. He insisted on me calling him the hosts. That's quite the dictatorship from you, but anyway, I'll be welcoming that. Hopefully this feature is going to be weekly between me and him. That's the first collaboration I'm going to be doing, and hopefully we're going to be doing more of that as the weeks progress. We're going to be doing some Premier League warfare predictions. How are you good at predictions?
I got the Liverpool Spurs one right the other day, so I guess all right, but when it comes to my knowledge away from Liverpool, it might go downhill slightly. So it's gonna be.
I mean, I thought you were quite knowledgeable in the Premier League, and I would think you know all of the. I mean, you have quite the understanding of the other clubs in the Premier League, so that can make this interesting.
I have an understanding, but it's up and down recently. We saw last week with Man City drawing with West Brom.
Yeah.
It's anyone. It's all to play for this season.
I actually predicted that. I was about to bet a draw between Man City and West Bromwich, but I found myself, late on the deadline, so to speak, before the game started, so I couldn't bet it properly. I was about a draw and both teams scoring. So anyway, let's get straight into the meat of the business. I'm not going to waste your time, or mine anyway. And let's crack on with the predictions. No action on Friday, so we start straight away with your club, with Liverpool playing Crystal Palace on Saturday at the Selhurst Park. How are you confident with your side after the victory against Tottenham?
See, I should be confident.
Yeah.
But with the away form recently, obviously drawing to Fulham, and Palace aren't an easy team to go to. They always make it hard for us. Every man behind the ball, and they just make it tough to break down. And they have some talented players. Zaha, Eberechi, like, it's not going to be an easy fixture. I think we'll do exactly what we did against Spurs, and we'll nick a late 2-1 win.
Okay, I'm gonna go one worse for you as a Liverpool fan. I'm gonna go a draw. You know what? Yeah. I like to be weird in my predictions. I'm gonna go draw between you and Crystal Palace for the same reason you just mentioned, because they play basically a 4-4-2 into a 4-5-1, and they really like to condense themselves behind the ball. I would say, like, Roy Hodgson is a pretty wily wolf, isn't he? He's one heck of an experienced manager, and he seems to get his shape right. Like, you don't catch Crystal Palace out of position a lot. And they like to be dogged, they like to be rough, especially in the middle of the park. Zaha is obviously their most pivotal player. You see, the effect of his absence a couple of weeks ago when he was tested for COVID and he was absent, and you can see the hole that he's left in his club. But also they have a couple of other talented players also. I mean, Eze is so good, that guy at the moment. He's just incredibly talented. I think it could be the future for Crystal Palace for the next couple of years if Zaha is going to be leaving anytime soon. So I'm going to go draw. Very cautious.
I'm quite glad that Benteke's got his red card in the last game, because he's a very tough striker. He likes to be physical, and obviously ex-Liverpool lad. Yeah. You don't really want to see him scoring against you. He's in quite good form recently.
He scored twice against. Scored twice against Leeds. Obviously, ex-Liverpool. Probably the only, I think, better memory about him in Liverpool would be that scissors kick against United a couple of seasons ago, at Old Trafford. I think that is the biggest memory any Liverpool fan would have of Christian Benteke. He became a joke pretty much. He became a joke pretty much. He became a Twitter banter machine in the next couple of years. He couldn't do more than just, roll onto the pitch and miss 17 chances in one game and just, stay on the bench for like 6 months or whatever. So let's move on to an even harder game. I think this is, for me, it's probably the most tricky game of the week. Southampton hosting Manchester City. How you like their form?
All right. This is going to be my prediction that's probably the most wild. I know Man City are going to be favourites, and I know Southampton are in very good form. But I think Southampton's form has been so impressive, and City are going to be slightly down after the results that they've been getting recently. And seeing the teams around them winning games, obviously their rivals, United and Liverpool, I think Southampton can pull off a 2-1 win.
Oh, Southampton 2-1. You added a combo there. You forced my hands because I'm not going to double predict, a result and a score line. You know what? I'm actually going to go one more than you. I'm going to go 3-1 Southampton. I'm going all out for an upset here. Man City are so ineffective this season, so lacking of guile. They don't have that spark anymore. They want to pass the ball into the net. That's what they've been doing for like 3 or 4 seasons under Guardiola. But it's now gotten to a certain low level that they can't even sometimes get through the middle of defenses. We saw that a lot. We saw that against Arsenal. We saw that against Manchester United in the derby pretty much, and we saw it against West Brom and a couple of games as well here and there against Leeds months ago. Like, they're struggling. I'm going to go with an upset here, 3-1 for Southampton. I know that might bite me really, as far as prediction is concerned, but I don't care. I told you I like weird predictions.
It could bite us both.
Yeah. Let's back to your city now, and we're going to be going to the blue side of the Merseyside. We're going to go talking about Everton versus Arsenal. They are enjoying life at the moment, 2 weeks winning in a row against Chelsea and then against Leicester. Not easy wins to get by any measure. So they're entering the game against Arsenal, who are in such a state.
Yeah, they are. Everton started the season really, really well. They had a little dip in form, and now they're coming slowly back up. As you said, beating Chelsea isn't an easy thing to do, especially with all the signings they made. And Everton played well in that game as well. They didn't look like they did actually deserve the win. Chelsea were slightly off the ball, but again, all credit to Everton. They've started the season brilliant, and they're still picking up results. They're proper European not title, why have I said that? But they're proper European contenders, especially for the Europa League. But Arsenal do need to start picking up points as well. They know that, because Arteta's job is on the line right now. Like, if fans were in the stadium, you could hear Sacks in the morning being ringed around like any stadium Arsenal go to.
I don't want to go as far as being sacked as Arteta being sacked, but I think they're quite close really. The relegation memes and jokes started appearing now everywhere on Twitter. I think that they're going to become a serious thing if they don't pick up themselves really before the end of the year. Like the next couple of games that they have as well, like they're not that easy. They still have, I think, they still didn't play Liverpool, right? They still didn't play Liverpool. Oh, already did. I'm sorry for that.
We played them.
Yeah, they already did. Yeah. So, every game is tricky for them now. Like, even against the likes of West Brom and Sheffield United, they seem to struggle. I would easily, I think, go for an Everton win here. Even if Everton sit and defend, I still go for an Everton win. 2-0, I would say.
I will go... I feel like because of the pressure that's being put on Arsenal, and because they know that they're underachieving, they want to be up in even contending for Europe, and it looks like they're way off of that. I'll go with a point, 1-1 draw.
Wow, 1-1 draw. That surprised me. I didn't think you would predict that, but fine. The goal for Everton is going to be scored by Aubameyang against his own net. Extra bet for you. Newcastle Fulham. No, not a lot of talking about that. Just a scoreline prediction at the top of your head. Never mind.
That would be such a boring game to watch. Newcastle Fulham. Fulham have started performing a bit better, sadly for Liverpool's sake.
Yeah.
And is St. Maximin still out for Newcastle?
Let me check. I guess he's still. He's
I know
still.
he was injured a couple of weeks ago. Oh, that could hurt him.
Then they still don't have. They still don't have Lascelles. They still don't have Fabian Schär. They still don't have Dubravka as a goalkeeper. It's quite the list of injuries, especially in that defense, really.
In my head, I'm saying that I shouldn't go with this prediction. Something's telling me against it, but I'm going to go anyway. 1-0 Fulham.
Wow, 1-0 Fulham. I'm gonna go 0-0. I'm gonna be straightforward here.
0-0.
It's written in the stars. It's 0-0 Newcastle Fulham. Probably Miguel Almiron is gonna have a shot on the crossbar in the 90 minutes or something, or Isaac Hayden is gonna be missing a somewhat similar chance. Brighton Sheffield, top of your head again. This is
2-1 to Brighton.
What 2 point? Yeah. Sheffield United 1 point. I mean, it's not a question if they will be relegated, because they will be relegated. It's a question of how points they could have this season. Could they actually win? Could they get 3 points somehow?
Do you think they'll break? Well, not break, because it's not really a record you want to have. But do you think they'll do worse than Derby did in that 16-point season?
Worse than 16 points? I probably would.
They've had the worst ever start.
I probably would think they won't get past 20 for some reason. I mean, at this rate, they won't go past 20. I reckon 20 points would be miraculous, and 20 points would just, let them not be relegated at the bottom of the table. They're relegated at 19th or 18th. I don't think they will get past 20 points. Nothing more than that, really.
Fair enough.
I'm going Brighton as well, and I'm going 1-0. I'm going 1-0. I'm making it simple and sweet. Tottenham versus Leicester on Sunday.
I don't know on this one, because Leicester are very on and off this season. It looks like they can come out and batter a team and then go and lose the next week. It's
they battered City and then lost to Fulham. They battered City 5-2 and lose to Fulham 2-1 at their home. Tottenham, after losing to Liverpool in that fashion, I think deservedly so lost, because Jose Mourinho, I think, made quite some stupid changes in the end. I reckon, like, if you want to win, or even, try to play for a draw, you don't regress that much. You still need to keep attacking, really. That's what I thought. But Liverpool still deserved their win absolutely thoroughly. They played better. They had more chances, possession and all. I'm not necessarily pleased by the way Mourinho plays, but I'm impressed of their result this season. Their form has been incredible. Their loss against Liverpool, I think, in my opinion, only raised their stock, because it was so hard for Liverpool to get 3 points over Tottenham anyway. So I'm going to go Tottenham winning 2-0 against Leicester. They're really wobbly at the moment, Leicester. Bad form and all. 2-0 for Tottenham. Again, probably Kane, Son exchanging goals and assists again, and that's going to be it. And they're going to be defending for the whole game.
It seems a bit boring that I go for it on. Well, I've gone for it on a lot of results, but I don't see Leicester not scoring. So I'll go 2-1 to Spurs, but Jamie Vardy will score.
Okay, and he's going to break another corner flag.
Hopefully not, especially not with the pride flag, because that will cause a lot of stuff.
Yeah, do you know here, like, obviously I'm not English, so LGBTQ rights are not as defendable here where I live. So the moment where he broke the corner flag, somewhat they consider it a victory here. Like on social media here, they were happy, really they were happy, and they forgot that he gifted a signed corner flag later on to the LGBTQ community in Sheffield, right? Like, it's about the fact that that he supports Sheffield Wednesday and he hates Sheffield United. Like, it's not about the LGBTQ in any way. They misunderstood it here.
It's a very, very, very touchy subject here. It's like you can't go in depth on it, can you? It's just it's one of those subjects that you don't want to talk about, because but between
air quotes, I think Jamie Vardy is the kind of player when you look at his face and you think he's not an LGBTQ pro. You think that guy can be quite anyway, I'm not going to say that word. I don't want to don't want to get attacked.
You don't want to make false accusations.
Yeah. I'm all for the human rights in any form, really. I don't want to be misunderstood. Man United Leeds.
Big derby, that First time in 16 years that they play, and just for the sake that I am very biased and I want Man United to lose, is that Old Trafford?
Yeah, it is at Old Trafford.
They've got poor home form, so 2-0 to Leeds.
What does home form matter really? There's no crowds. Like there's no difference between home and away. I don't know why people take this so seriously. There's no fans either way, so the form would not be that important. I mean, I still think they would lose because Leeds are quite the strong. They have some strong attacking options in them. Bamford and Rodrigo. Robinson. Jack Harrison, sorry, not Robinson, and a host of other players. I think United's defence is really weird sometimes. I mean, Maguire, my goodness, he's a joke of a defender. How they could buy that guy for 75 million pounds or something like that. I think United will lose, but it's going to be with the tightest of margin. I'm probably going to go 3-2 Leeds, and that is considering if they can win in the first place.
That's high scoring.
Yeah, it is high scoring. I mean, they just defeated Sheffield 3-2, like Sheffield United, just 1 point, and they barely escaped with a 3-2 victory where I thought they're going to be cruising with the game. I mean, how do you expect them not to lose against Leeds, a substantially better side? Okay, so as I mentioned, I said that just escaped with a 3-2 victory against Sheffield United, who are substantially worse than Leeds. So how you don't expect them to lose against Leeds? How do you not expect that?
So I wouldn't expect the high scoring game, like you said, only because I don't know. It's one of them where I think both sides, even though Leeds are a very attacking side, Solskjaer's going to play the tactics to try and stop the so-called Bielsa ball, and I think that might kill the game slightly. Leeds will go at them. United will try and take the pressure and then hit a counter-attack with Rashford. They did it a couple of times against Sheffield, so I don't feel like it's going to be as high scoring. And on paper, the game seems like it's going to be an amazing game. But I don't know. I have a feeling like tactics, it might be more of a tactical battle and a closer scoreline than what we actually think.
Yeah, probably it's understandable. I mean, I like Leeds that they don't lose their stamina very fast. I mean, they're quite intense compared to other sides. I mean, to Man United themselves, really. Man United, sometimes they just drop off in a bad way. I mean, I'm still waiting to see the real Leeds, like the Leeds of the Championship last season. I'm still waiting to see that Leeds side. But I'm really interested in this game, really. Again, I can see Man United losing at home, 3-2. I still expect it to be a high score, and anything better than the Manchester derby. That's it. That's what I want.
Definitely.
Anything better than Manchester derby, and I'm fine with that. West Brom, Aston Villa.
Big derby in the Midlands. West Brom just come off of probably their best result of the season. Like, no one expected them to get the point, other than you, obviously.
Yeah, I think their result against Chelsea is quite good as well, getting a 3-3 draw. Yeah. I mean, they could have won that game anyway.
Yeah,
but yeah,
and
you're right.
The only reason I disregard that is because they were 3-0 up. They looked like they were cruising to a result.
Yeah,
and then it all just came down slightly. So no, they've had some good results this season, but Villa have also, sadly, I don't want to mention it, but they've also come to the big teams and they absolutely thrashed Liverpool. That was embarrassing to watch. So it's one of those games where there's going to be a lot on the line and it's a rivalry, so both teams are going to want to win. I feel like Villa will come out on top, though, only by 1 goal, though, so a 1-0 win. Aston Villa win.
I have the same, process of thinking. I would go 2-1 Aston Villa, really. I mean, they still have a couple of matches in hand, Aston Villa. They could improve their position, really. Certainly, they're going to finish in a better place than last season. I'm going to go 2-1 Aston Villa, and that is, I think quite straightforward. On Monday, Burnley, Wolves.
I don't know if you watched the game last night between Burnley and Villa.
No, I didn't.
Burnley, they are playing the most boring football I think I've ever watched. It's every man behind the ball, and Wolves shown it against Chelsea. They can come up against the big teams, they can pull off results, and they are a very, very good side. So I think that game only goes one way, and that's 2-3-0 to Wolves.
I'm gonna go just 2-0 to Wolves. I mean, I agree with you the fact that Burnley play boring football. When I turn up the scoring apps and I see Burnley playing 4-4-2, and I was like, no, I'm not turning up that game. Like, no. And I see like all those tall players. I mean, I don't know. I feel like they're renting these players every week from the streets. Like they don't seem to have a professional football flow about them. Like they just rent them somewhat. Like Sean Dyche is just going out and spending the team's budget on renting these players every week to just tackle and go double-footed and head the ball away. That's it. I'm gonna go 2-0 Wolves. Just about, really. It's going to be, I think, a tight defensive game. Maybe, Podence is going to score a goal. Deflection, probably. I don't expect even amazing goals in that game. Closing down the round, of course, Chelsea versus West Ham. That's a fixture they struggled in last season. They drawn at the London Stadium and then they lost at Stamford Bridge around the same time as well, Christmas period. What do you reckon?
It's a weekend full of derby matches, isn't it? Man United Leeds, West Brom Villa, Chelsea West Ham. I can't see anything other than a Chelsea win. West Ham, one of those sides, again, they're up and down. They perform well some weeks and then the next week they'll go and just do absolutely nothing. The one standout game this season is when they beat Wolves 4-0. But Chelsea, if they want to keep up in the title race or in the race for the top four, which I think they will get there, they've got to start picking up results against the teams that they're expected to beat. So I feel like Lampard's going to go all out, especially in a rivalry game, a derby match, and they'll win 3-1.
Wow, Chelsea winning 3-1. I think it's going to be harder than that. I'm going to go just one goal down of that. I'm going to go 2-1 for Chelsea. And just about they have a lot of attacking options. I mean, even with the injuries that they have, the likes of Ziyech, Hudson-Odoi still missing, Frank Lampard for some reason still downplaying that title credentials. I mean, every time he's on the media, he says, no, we're not title contenders. And he's trying to keep the players on the ground. I can understand that principle, but I reckon it will be a hard fixture again for them. West Ham may not be the most enjoyable side, far from that, I would say, but they still smart enough under David Moyes to manage a game really well and get a decent result out of it. I mean, a draw would be fine for them by their standards. They are comfortable in the middle of the table. They don't have, I think, the danger of being relegated anytime soon. So I reckon it will be a hard win for Chelsea just because they need it more than West Ham. I'm going to go 2-1 for Chelsea, and that's about it. That's all. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for having enough time to join me. Hopefully we do this on a weekly basis, of course. Check out his podcast and the Theredsdaily. I'm going to be putting the links, of course, in the description for that. I'm going to be putting your Twitter link. I'm going to don't worry, I'm going to give the social media call that you deserve. So thanks for joining me on this one. Hopefully we'll meet next week. Enjoy, of course, and enjoy your podcast. I'm going to be giving it, of course, a look, and I'm going to be giving a follow and everything. I mean, hopefully we can enjoy this, let's call it partnership.
Definitely. This will be a weekly thing. Yeah,
absolutely. So thank you for joining me. I was pleased to do that with you, and thank you. I hope I'll see you next week.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, thank you.